Welcome to John Eats Cheap, video number 300. Yay! I can't believe we had enough ideas for 300 videos and I still got a whole list of them that I haven't done yet. So more to come. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Get notifications. We always do 2 videos a week, Sunday and Wednesday. And this is number 300. What did we do for our 200th video, Mrs. Cheap? We did something
crazy pizza. It was a family recipe
Rosie's
that somebody submitted.
Crazy crust pizza,
Yeah.
right? Oh boy, that was a good one. We need to make that again. That was really good. Check that video out. That's a very good pizza. It doesn't look. It's crazy crust because it starts out liquid. It's really weird. But we're doing. We put out the word a few weeks ago saying, hey, we want to do a question and answer because I get questions asked sometimes, and I reply to most of them just individually. But then Mrs. Cheap said, we'll do a question and answer because other people might want the same thing too. So I have several of them here that I jotted down. These have gotten these recently, and I'd say really over the past couple years. So here we go. And these, I'm going to try and make these short. You know, Ed wanted to know what food I won't eat because I like most food, but there are some foods I will not eat. Number 1 on the list has got to be raisins. I'm not going to eat raisins. Don't ruin a cookie or a cupcake or a biscuit by putting a raisin in it. I am not going to eat raisins. Will not eat them.
You won't even touch an oatmeal cookie just in case.
No, not going to have a raisin. I also, sweet potatoes. I am not a fan of sweet potatoes. I don't eat those. And beets. I can't eat beets. Just can't do it. Cooking Time wants to know overrated food. Are there any foods you think are overrated? Number 1 on my list is a pretty new one. You see it at all the butcher shops now, the butcher meat cases, cowboy ribeyes. And I don't understand this because they cost so much more per pound than a regular ribeye, and you're paying for that much bone. Yeah, they look cool. They look cool, I'll give them that. But they're hard to cook because they're hard to fit on a grill. I just don't understand. Just give me a regular old ribeye. That's overrated. Oh, I have a couple of spices or herbs that are overrated too. I'm sorry. Bay leaves, don't understand it. They're dry when they go in. They're dry when you pull them out. I don't know where you get any flavor. My mom always put 2 bay leaves in her spaghetti sauce though, but I don't use those. And saffron. Saffron is so expensive. I used it in something that called for saffron once and it made no difference. I challenge anybody. I'll make the same dish, one with saffron, one without. And by tasting it, not by seeing it, by tasting it, you tell me if you can tell the difference, and I bet you can't. Amy says, how old is Snoop Dogg in dog years? Snoop Dogg is 49, I believe, so in dog years, he would be 343 years old. Amy, thank you. Cheese Fan says, anything you can't make that you're not good at making. And Mrs. Cheap is laughing because my biggest disaster in the kitchen was General Tso's chicken.
It was so bad.
I tried making it and it was horrible. I followed the recipe, which is probably one thing. I followed a recipe and I'm not good at that.
It was inedible. It
was horrible. And I also used like frozen chicken bites or popcorn chicken, and that just didn't go well with the sauce. It was horrible. Never again. Also, I'm not good at baking. Mrs. Cheap does the baking. It's because you need to be too exact. I just can't do breads or cakes, stuff like that. So that's what I can't make. Cheese Fan. John at John Eats Cheap has a question.
You're questioning yourself?
Got any pet peeves? Oh, let me get you just a couple. Number 1 is the Red Lobster commercial where they do the slow motion dipping the lobster or the crab into the butter, and it splashes everywhere. I don't know why. Nobody does that. It makes a mess. You lose half of your butter. Just stop that. Don't do that anymore. Recipes that say when you're making them, you see a lot of people do this as they're making the thing, doing their ingredients, salt and pepper to taste. Well, you can't salt and pepper to taste as you're cooking. That's something you do after, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have a measurement. Don't say to taste when you're making it, because then you're not tasting it yet.
I have one on that.
Drives me nuts. What's that?
At the end of a recipe when it says enjoy.
Enjoy. Well, I better. You don't need to tell me. It's okay. Enjoy. And describing when people make something, and then, you know, this is usually on the Food Network shows, and when they're done, they take a bite and they have to describe. Oh, you get the creaminess of the crema, the sweetness of the dill pickle or the sweet pickle, you get the crunchiness of the this, you get the tartness, the bitterness, the saltiness. Every ingredient they have to describe that they tasted in there. It drives me nuts. All right, and last one here. Mrs. Cheap says your top 5 videos of the previous 2.5, 3 years, which one of your top 5 surprises you the most? I have super easy air fryer hard-boiled eggs, easy homemade toffee, no yeast dinner rolls, easy air fryer baked potatoes, and Food Saver unboxing. When I unboxed the Food Saver, well, boy, that's a tough question. I get the hard-boiled eggs and the baked potatoes in the air fryer because those were done when air fryers were first catching on. So I understand those. Those don't surprise me. No yeast dinner rolls doesn't surprise me because we did that at a time during the pandemic when you couldn't get yeast, for one thing. And everybody's like, how do you make bread without yeast? And also they were horrible. One of the worst things I've ever made that I made correctly. And they were lying liars who posted that recipe that said those were really good. And they even posted pictures of them, but the pictures weren't the actual rolls. Mrs. Cheap, she has like our second most popular video ever with the homemade toffee. So maybe it's that one, but it is an excellent recipe, but it's I don't know about the easy part. It takes a long time. Easy. There's a lot of stirring. It's easy for you because you do it all the time. But maybe the unboxing too of the Food Saver. I mean, I just unboxed it. I didn't even review it, did I? Not on that one.
No.
But just unboxing it, it's taking it out of the box. That kind of surprised me. So probably that one, I guess, of the top 5. All right, Val Gal wants to know my favorite channels I follow on YouTube. Well, John Eats Cheap. I like that one. I really follow that one. Really good recipes and shares how to eat cheap and just fun to watch. My favorite channels, Chef Jeffrey, old school soul food. He is, you can tell he's a cook. I love it because he makes great recipes for one thing and really good stuff. And he always cleans up as he goes. I mean, he's got a towel over his shoulder, and if he spills something on the cutting board, the counter, wherever, the stove, he cleans it up. He knows what he's doing. Cast Iron Skillet Kitchen, Chef John and Rebecca, they live in the Carolinas, and I follow them and like them because they do a lot of stuff just like I do. So I like that about them. And let's see, Rate My Takeaway, Mrs. Cheap and I, this is probably our favorite. This guy posts a video a day. He's in the UK, and he just goes out, he starts every video saying, how you doing, guys? Back on the road. And he just goes to all these restaurants and eats their food. Now, he loves everything he does. We love trying to, we first started watching him, we had to have the captions on so we could understand because he talks with a really thick accent, English accent. And, but we love, he goes to all these restaurants and eats these huge meals, or orders. I mean, he probably doesn't eat it all, but orders these huge meals. And we do know one thing, Mrs. Cheap said, well, you know, now we always worried about the food in England. They say it's not very good, but there's some really good looking food in England.
And he's so joyous.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Nomadic Fanatic, this is a guy who travels across the country in his RV with his 2 cats, and he just lives on the road as a nomad, and he's fun to follow like that. Bourbon Junkies, I love them because I love bourbon, and they're fun to watch and share stuff. And Bill and Lisa's Food and Travel, we love following them. They go a lot of places, and they're fun to watch too, based out of LA. So those are the channels, some of my favorite channels I like to watch. Oh, and John Eats Cheap, I like that one too. Really like that one. Thanks for watching. 300 videos, love it. and gonna keep doing it. Anytime you have recipe suggestions or anything like that, leave us a comment, send us a message, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, of course, and TikTok.
Oh, I have a bonus question from
Okay.
William.
Okay.
Are you wearing pants?
Am I wearing right now, or I
In
am? Well, I'm wearing
videos.
shorts, but yeah, in the videos, I am always wearing pants. I realize I'm always hiding behind the island, but
Yes, William, he wears pants.
thank you, William. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Share, like, subscribe if you don't subscribe. Thanks for watching, Johnny. It's cheap.